to call the spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for divanarchy and interface. Pow! With the couch in space. I'm just singing it. I might sing it every time though. I don't know. Call the spaceship down. That way I did the part already. Welcome to Space Couch. We're back live. I took a day off, and then we did that like super crazy live thing from Mechanismus. I landed on Earth there in Seattle, or maybe I didn't. I forgot how I spun it, but that was great. But now we are back in the literal balls here on Couch. We would not have the wherewithal for the fuel back if it was not for our wonderful advertisers. Brand new this week, it's Tiger Squawk Records. You want to check out the just dropped 1% from Bitman. It goes off. It uses directed ghost proxies, Proctonet. Until then, from Batavia, they're back. Oh, they're so good. Severed Skies. He's got like really cool like lady vocals on it. So it's like he does the horror stuff. Speaking of Beyond Horror, Italy, he's got a new soundtrack called Beyond Horror. Vivarium from Grass Logic, also out of Seattle. IDM-ish. Some nerd named Gasoline Invertebrate dropped a new thing. Slave Dolls from Italy. The Heat is on from Australia. Ghost Proxy from Montreal with another new single all the way back to Vancouver with Duckbag TM's new one, then to Madison, Wisconsin with Bixley. He did all the songs from Chrysalis, then another single from Italy, because sure, why not? I think it's the best one. And you'll also want to, my space controller, I forgot to redo the Bluetooth, so we're just gonna do this. We're gonna go to our Patreon. Fuck. Hold on one sec. We're gonna go to our. Oh, thanks to Dozer Games and I Hate Artists. He just did that artwork for the gasoline thing. Lured by Radio, my buddy Pat from high school, who I need to email back. I'm sorry, Dominic, Grim Reaper, Bremley, Ray, Fly Ahead, and Walter Magoon. How you been, man? Hunt Hent Hawk, out of Chicago, Los Angeles, and somewhere else, and Giga Glitch on Twitch. Once again, supporting the Best Friends Animal Shelter, the finest no-kill animal shelter in town, or wherever you live there on Earth. I kind of forgot how it works. I've been in space for like 4 years now, and so that's actually apropos because we're going to. This is kind of like a weirdly big episode for me because we're returning to, in a very real way, the episode that probably had the biggest impact on my life personally, by way of Space Couch, and we'll get into that, and we're gonna get into some music because. It is cold in the void of space no longer with this hot heat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome UNITCODE Machine. What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going. Hello, dear friends.
What's going? Hey, yeah, all right. So, welcome back to space.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've brought it up on Couch here before. Fivera, hey, what's up? Is first in the chat room today. We are now co-workers, which is like
Yes.
amazing. You got hired, and so it's
Yep.
like, obviously you're extremely talented at your job, but then it's like also awesome to have somebody at work that like gets your frontline assembly jokes. So it's like
I mean, there's a couple of other people. I'm
you
in
find
another.
him, you find him.
I'm in the hip chat.
But it's the nuances of the industrial green room, just like weird
Oh
kind of
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It's pretty great. I could not be happier that this wacky show that I do from a ball pit yielded such joy.
Mm.
Um, but we got to do a recap, a last time on, if you will, because you've sort of been Sonic arm cannon, just crushing it. Um, excuse me, themes from the collapsing empire, full
Yep.
length. Let's take a listen to this. This is the music video for
Yeah.
Falling Down. Back in space. So that was awesome. There's more music videos off that. I picked that one because it was the most recent. But looking badass in it. Like, but as an album, like is this, and maybe it's not, but like sometimes an album is very much here's 10 songs, here's the 10 most recent songs I did, or here's this thing that I concocted to put together and it's
Mm.
characterized in a certain way. Like, do you think anything characterizes, not to overuse that word, collectively the songs on themes for collapsing empire?
Well, so Themes for a Collapsing Empire is a collection of songs that were written during and about the pandemic
Okay.
and how it impacted me. So it
Okay.
was like there are definitely things inside of that where I lost friends, I lost family, and it just felt like the world was falling apart. Like I lost my job. I was working for another company called Expedia at the time. For your international viewers, may not know what Expedia is, but for the most part, like it is a wholly collective piece, and that's kind of how I do my albums. I
Mm,
look at it, and for the most part, the name of the album comes first before anything else. Like
really?
the idea of the album is like this is the construct, and I shall write the music of this construct.
Okay. Do you find
So
yourself changing that topic sentence often, if you will, or do you go back does that stay, or do you be like, I meant to say a little retcon? Like, does the material often stray from your mission statement if you're starting
I
there?
I don't like the thing is like the it's not coloring within the lines. It's just
Okay.
kind of setting the idea as a cloud, and then
Okay.
whatever lands in that cloud, I dynamically fill it in.
So it's not a D&D class, but it's a D&D alignment, like kind of a general idea of.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would, yeah. I mean, like I like to speak to that. I like to think it's more of a neutral position, and then sometimes it flows between, you know,
Okay.
chaotic neutral or lawful evil, depending upon the quality of the song
Oh,
or
this
the content
episode
of
is
the
gonna.
song.
There you go. Right. This episode's gonna rock. We gotta check that out, and I'm gonna rock it through these because like there's a lot to cover. Um, because I'm gonna do the talk show thing. It says here that uh, you met Chris Hall of Stabbing Westward,
Mhm.
um, which is awesome, but not wholly out of the unreal. But during a shooting incident on the closing night of Cold Waves 9 is
Yep.
not an origin story I would have expected. You
I,
you give us
I,
the deets on that one?
Yeah, yeah. So the TLDR is that we were at I was at Cold Waves. We went to G-Man next door, closed that out. Was
Okay.
waiting, and I was waiting for Greg with Greg Rolfus to pick up
Oh,
uh
hey.
yeah, Greg did the artwork for themes, by the way.
Hey, awesome. He's done some stuff for me too. But
Oh
that's
yeah,
why it looks
love
great.
his work. Love his work.
He's amazing. Shout out to Greg.
Yeah, but we were waiting for an Uber, and Chris walks out, and I was like, hey, you're basically the cop rep here because Christian was supposed to be there, but he wasn't. And that was obviously, it happens, things happen, travel arrangements, things like that are always a problem. But he walks up to, or he's like, hey, no, you need to go talk to him. And I'm like, all right. So I walked over to him and I'm like, very nervously and sheepishly, it's like, hey, I wanted to thank you. You did a really lot. You
Huh.
inspired me to be a musician and all these things. Security walks up and it's like, hey, we've got a
Right.
shooting incident at Smart Bar. Um, we need everybody into the alleyway. So I'm standing next to a trash can with Greg, Chris Hall, and myself. And I'm like, well, if this is going to be the night that I die, I might as well go ahead and take a
That's
shot, right?
that's amazing.
Asked him,
That's
hey, how much
that's
do you charge for
really cool.
remix? And
Yeah.
I actually started talking to him about his sequential gear because he did an interview with Sequential.
Okay.
So, and then just kind of went from there.
Wow. So well, and it went from there. It certainly did because you guys. I understand you're working on a new album together.
Yeah, actually, it's very close to being done, and like very close to the point where there are things I could say, but I'm not allowed to just yet.
All right.
But we've already released one single off of it, which is the Undone single, and it's done really well. It's got remixes from a reinterpretation or an edit from Chris, and then a remix from Aesthetic Perfection and Assemblage 23, and people love it for some strange reason.
Oh, you just got like gangsters on it. That's amazing. Oh well, you uh, people, garbage in, garbage out. The source material is quite strong. Um, but the celebrity collabs, the celebrity collabs. Certainly don't stop there. You worked on a track with Dwayne Dassing of Meat Beat Manifesto and one of my personal favorites, Benestrophe. And then,
You mean Mantello and the Fixer? You said
God
Meat Beat
damn it, I
Manifesto.
always do that. I always. Fuck. All right, it's live, so it's going out there. I just. Like it's at this point, like I've remembered it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's like,
It's enough times where it's just like committed to memory, right? You save the
yeah.
file too many times.
Mentallo and the GD Fixer. I'm so sorry. I like you both. I like both those bands, but like Mentallo and then the Benestrophe stuff is just like I don't know. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Um,
So Dwayne lives locally. That's like, and I met him. So he had gone to the Nitzer Ebb show, and I went out that night for my birthday because it was the same night.
okay.
And we went to the old, so the Lizard Lounge slash church, which is now since unfortunately closed down. But he walked in, and I'm like, holy shit, you're Dwayne Dassing. Like I'm the
Yeah.
only guy in the room who knew who this guy was. But I'm like, and like yeah, it was a birthday night, and I had a few too many drinks, and I'm like, okay, I've had a few too many
Sure.
drinks. I don't want to annoy you. I'm going to go ahead and let you enjoy your rest of your evening, and walked off. But we met up a couple weeks later at another venue at another event, uh, run by somebody that we mutually knew, and he's like, hey, come over, and like from there we've been pretty good
That's
friends.
amazing. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
Hey,
weird to be friends with like two of your idols.
that's pretty cool. It's. I mean, that's one of the cool things about industrial music, right? Like if we open for Leatherstrip or something, Klaus is like, "Hi, Brian." I'm like, "You shouldn't know my name, dude."
Yeah.
Uh, but that's all happening, and that remix you mentioned just now by the aforementioned Stabbing Westward is on that same release. So like that's super cool. Um, I saw you and got to open for the mighty UNITCODE machine at one of my favorite venues around, Kodo in Salem,
Hmm.
in Massachusetts, on your planet Earth there.
Yeah.
Um, and I had a great time, great night with the mighty finite automata, who has for some reason not been on couch. We got to correct that, but like, there's only so much time. Anyway, you went on tour with finite automata, and I want you to tell me a story. That's the only question I need to know what that's like.
Oh. So this was one of those. It was an interesting event. There were because uh, I like the most entertaining performance or the most entertaining Coda was great. I'm not gonna I'm not knocking Coda. Coda was fantastic. Matt
Okay.
is a great guy. You know, you're always a pleasure to be around. Um, the most interesting night was the when we played in New Jersey,
Okay.
and we did the song "By Me Now" as the closer because it's the it's a big boisterous heavy song. And one of the things that I do during the bridge that no vocal bridge is I do this like consumer preacher bit,
Okay.
and and it's funny because like I modeled it up because I'm from Texas. You know, TBN is like based in Irving, Texas,
Okay.
and constantly exposed. So I modeled it after that thing that so
Sure.
you got that front 242 thing. The crowd was like saying, hey poor, you don't have to. And I'm like, thank you for getting that bit.
That is that's sick, man.
So many states away, you guys actually made the connection from consumer televangelist to front 242 to TBN. That connection. And it was like for a moment I connected to the people of New Jersey and I realized
That
that New Jersey
is
isn't too
pretty
bad is
great.
what people say.
Like we did we did Infest in England like 1,000 years ago, like 2008, and covered the DuckTales theme because like I don't know, I thought it'd be a good idea, but just to like have a bunch of British people be like DuckTales, like singing it back to you, I'm like this is the craziest shit. uh, so super cool. Thank you for that story. And so we can kick it on down into this is like really cool. Signed with Cop
Yep.
in last September. That's so awesome.
Yep.
I've had the great fortune of being able to work with. Just talk about meeting your heroes. I must have listened to that Deathline International cover of Tainted Love 1,000 times in high school, but just the nicest guy just did that I've worked with. We did the Cop International, Tiger Squawk versus Cop International, and the
Mhm.
idea to put Tiger Squawk first was his idea. Like, wow, who does that? So happy to see that they were able to acquire someone of your caliber. Um, and of course, we all just saw each other at Mechanismus.
Mhm. Yep.
Was it weird to play with your boss in the audience? Like, oh, I can't fuck this one up.
No. So I actually a short tour on the West Coast
Okay.
in last year, and he came out to the show that we did at the Elbow Room, Jack London,
Okay.
and so it was like the only thing that I did was I walked up to him and I was like, hey, at the show in Seattle, I walked up to him and I'm like, hey, I'm sick. This is going to be the worst show I'm ever going to do. And he's like, okay, go for it. I'm like, okay.
Well, I sort of agree with you in that your performance was fucking sick. I had a great experience. It was awesome. Was Nico was on fire. It's great to see him, but just because as a Unicode machine fan myself, I know where your normal register is,
Yeah.
and like I said, I think at a Slack meeting at work, you had some Tom Waits in your voice. I was wondering
Yeah.
if you, and most of our audience here are musicians. I was wondering if you could offer any tips on playing well sick.
Oh, so this is like, I'm going to be frank with you. This is like the first time I've actually ever performed where I lost my voice and all of this stuff. So it was mostly me just kind of thinking on the fly. I'm like, how do I sing these songs where it still translates well and it doesn't sound like I'm squeaking like a squeaky toy?
Okay, so that was
Uh,
a conscious decision to like be like, I'm gonna drop this an octave or whatever.
yeah, I'm like, so it's how do I restructure it in my head?
Okay.
How do I make it where it's like I know these songs so well because I listen to them constantly. So how do I basically create, I did the baritone harmonies that could potentially come out of me. while I'm sick with whatever I had.
Well, and it helps in our line of employ to think on your feet. It's a very valuable skill to be like, all right, this isn't working, and I'm on in right now.
Yeah.
so, so, but like what specifically? Like, is usually like, okay, I'm going to be more like throat voice than head voice, or like just specifically go down an octave and do like the Joe Cocker thing, or what?
It was so it was basically throat voice, less head voice,
Uh huh.
and then I knowing that after the first couple of songs, I was like, okay, I can't hit these certain notes, so rewrites on the fly,
Wow. Okay. So actually, just
like creating
like vocal
harmonies.
melodies.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was there was a couple of tracks that I had to do like what's the relative harmony on this, and then just like hit
Wow.
it.
That is a that. There's this wonderful moment that I don't know if I've told you that I was telling everybody on the job where at that Kodo show, like both Dom and I kind of do this animalistic howl basically at the Kodo show. So people were like into it, and when you get on and can actually hold a note, it was just like, oh, okay, let's time to put down the sushi. This is Dad's home. But so. Mechanismus, great stuff. Thank you for those tips. And not only did you stay together for that show, the single for Undone is now available, crushing it on all sorts of charts. Give us. I didn't cue it up, but like I'm sure you heard it there at home because it was like. Did you hit #1 on the Docky Doc there?
No, on the dock, I was blocked by the number one spot by what was it, Depeche Mode and VNV Nation.
Depeche Mode and VLC Nation. I never heard of either of those guys. Never. That's
No,
amazing.
this one of
That's
them's a magazine, I think.
okay. Oh yeah, I think I had a subscription. Because that's incredible. So let's if how do I phrase this? I know it's not the end point, but if me as the UCM fan, let's say, knows everything up to Undone, and of course you know what's coming. I don't like, but how would you? Is this a jumping off point for a new like sort of evolutionary offshoot, or how would you describe your ascendancy, if you will? I don't have to be too grandiose about it, but
Yeah, no, it's
like
for
your
me,
skill
it's
tree in a real time strategy game.
yeah, right now. So if you're looking at that, it's like, so we start off at level one, the first release. Uh, not a lot of skills, got to go grind,
Mhm.
and through the process of, and this honestly, that's basically kind of the same. You can make this analogous here in this situation because it's like you do have to grind so many hours and so many
Mm.
days to get to a point where what you're writing is actually, there were is good, or at least what you think is now is good. The evolution of Unicode machine is just how do I make myself better than what I was previously? How do I write stuff that's better than what I did
Heck
previously?
yeah.
And that's kind of the whole point with my project is like I just want to continue to write the best possible thing at that moment, and then I want to look back and go look at what I did previously and say, how do I make it better?
Cool. Iterative. I dig it.
Yeah.
Iterative development. I also just realized while you were talking, in video games, grind indicates hours, but in music, grind indicates 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Uh, so cool. So like this what you're saying is this ain't even your final form.
No,
So
there is no
like
final
there
form.
is no final form. Oh, shit! I forgot that I had a cue. Let's listen to the "I'm Still Alive" with Dwayne Dassing because this is hot. People got to hear it. Atomic Tom, hi. Yeah, here, check out this song, man. Okay, awesome. I could not let that slide because Auric Fires is like my like I put it on honestly like if I need to get like shit done. It's like my get
Mm,
shit done album.
yeah.
Um, but 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 that was a little bit of a window into the past, and we are now. Let's do announcement time. We got a Space
Mm.
Couch exclusive. This is so cool. Vielen Dank auf Herr Christian Pitka. They were gonna put this on like Sonic Seducer or something like that, but we got it here on Space Couch. Ladies and gentlemen, check out the album cover and name for the upcoming release. Cold, isn't that cool? How did you do that?
I mean, that all credit goes to Greg on that one.
Okay.
Generally, when I find people who do great work, I generally try to continue to work with them because it's one, yeah, I've built a relationship, and two, I want to continue to grow that relationship. And with people like Greg, Greg is a great person. He came and helped with the video when we did for Falling Down and everything like that. It's really important to continue to maintain those relationships with people because it's a small scene as it is already,
Mhm.
and it better to continue to maintain friendships with these people
Yeah. Well, especially
above
when
all.
they're well, yeah, like no, it's really easy to be like a nice person, and especially when they turn in hot heat, like the cover of the ironically named Cold. Um, Tell us about that release, man.
That is going to be coming out August 6th. Is that the Friday? Is that we're pre-orders are going to start the week prior.
Hmm.
Pre-orders are going to start on actually August 4th, August 4th. The pre-orders start on the 28th. It's got remixes. It's got the Chris Hall edit because Chris decided to go ahead and do an edit for this one too.
And
But it
this
also,
is a single.
yeah, it's going to be a single.
Okay, dope.
So this is a single. This is just a single song by itself. Um, and this will have remixes from the great Baborn Baton and Black Car Burning, which is a
Wow.
Mark Hawking's Mesh side project. So Mark was like, "Hey, yeah, I'll do this remix," and it's really weird to get like as many. So looking at the perspective of everything, the people who have been involved with the project for me are like people I grew up listening to, or people who I really enjoyed, in my 20s and 30s and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is
It's
weird.
so weird. It's so weird. Speaking of celebrities, what's up to Bixley in the chat? Hey, what's going on, Craig? Wow. Okay. Yeah, but it is weird. I had this. I'll name drop now because I started telling the story. I'm not gonna stop. But we were doing a festival and Suicide Commando comes up to me and he goes, Brian, can I use your microphone? And I'm like, yeah, sure, thanks. And he's like, thank you, Brian, and like walks off. And Matt from Caustic comes up to me and he goes, Suicide Commando knows your fucking name. And I was like, so like that is cool. But it started at the bottom. Now we're here, and let's plug. By our powers combined, we will form Captain Planet because he's all blue. We have a
Sorry.
Dallas. It's gonna be inside joke.
Yeah,
It's a Dallas gig at Reno's. I think is the
Reno's.
name of it
Yeah,
in
the
the
name of the venue is going to be Reno's.
third Saturday in September, I do believe. Look that up as we get closer to it because I forgot to write down the date. But I'm
September 23rd.
look at you! Oh, you're so smart. Um, yes. So September 23rd at Reno's. Check out UNITCODE Machine and the Gothsicles forming a giant cowboy lobster kaiju. It's going to be really cool. I don't have details and stuff like that on it yet. I don't even think there's a Facebook event page. I just realized this is a second Space Couch exclusive. I was so excited about your new single that I forgot to say we got double exclusives. This is a great episode to return to space on. Onwards
Two
to return to
scoops.
space. Yes, two scoops of exclusives. Excloops. Excloops. We got excloops. I think we opened for X Loops in 2005. So check out the Gossicles Unicode machine, um, making a great peanut butter cup of industrial music at Reno's in Dallas, Texas on September 23rd. Um, okay, so we got to get. Oh, I knew this episode was going to go long. Time is just flying by. We got to get to some features. No one can escape the features. It's radiation round. Called that because lightning is exceedingly rare in space. No wrong answers. Say whatever you want. Alien or Predator?
Predator.
Um, okay. All right. All right. Mixed to earbuds or mixed to monitors?
Both.
Both. Okay. You
Yep.
got to find a happy medium.
Yep. And I find that the what is it? The Aventone Mix Cube is kind of that like decent mid-level consumer product. So for the musicians, if you don't in that are watching the show, if you don't have an Aventone Mix Cube, please go buy one. It's going to sound horrible, but it's going to be your best friend.
What is it? Is it a monitor or what?
Yeah, it's a monitor. What it does is it emulates like the baseline for consumer audio products. And if you what you want to tune it to the point where your transients are coming out just clear enough, your bass is not really present in it, and your vocals are like the top part of it. So you can hear your vocals crystal clear. You can hear
Uh-huh.
transients of your drums, and there's no like almost no bass in it.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a weird product, but it really like once you take it from that mix and then put it into like whatever other monitors, you'll find that things
Fascinating.
translate and become more clear.
Okay.
Yeah,
Totally.
totally
But
cool tool.
okay, I'm gonna have to review the show notes for that. That's awesome. But do you know what I'm talking about? Like, because it's like I've heard like just because no one goes out anymore and everyone's just in their earbuded world, like people, are eschewing the $1 zillion monitors and just mixing to the Apple fucking earbuds because that's what they. But I don't know. People still go out. Like, I mean, I've heard like Unicode
Yeah,
machine on the dance floor and stuff like that. So okay. Um.
yeah. And I mean, when we did the show with Stabbing Westward, there was like 800 people in a room, and I was like, okay, this is a lot
Yeah,
of
it is.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you go. Oh, let's not bury that lead. I'm sorry, I just got so excited about the radiation round. We'll go back to because you opened for 800. You played for 800 people. Yeah, for open for Stabbing Westward. Uh, Last
sets,
question. In radiation round, trickier. Sets or quantity link?
quantity link, and the reason why is because it's more functional.
It's more. You think that makes it hard, like because your expectation as a tech is that it should work, so you work harder at it, or what? What do you
Oh
mean?
no. So wait, as in like what's a good what is the better of the two?
Like
The better
if you had to like you would less like to take sets or quantity link.
less like
Yeah,
oh
which is worse?
which is
Set
worse? Sets is worse.
Sets is worse. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. That surprised me for a second. Sets is clearly although a functional thing, very tricky for us on the other end of the phone to troubleshoot at points.
yeah,
Yeah, quantity link is a little scary, but sets is like it can get murky.
yeah.
Although everyone should check out that product. So from the top, that was Predator, both and sets for that radiation round. And so for the second of our features, we will do hypothetical spectacle. I put your logo too high in the thing, so it sits on top of everything. Oh, I'll have to do a move it back. It's a markup. That's markup jokes. So the this is sort of like where we distill the essence of your project down into like an action movie or like a sitcom or something. But I don't know. I had the weird idea like, what would unit code the cruise be? Like if there was like there's like you can do like a Brady Bunch cruise or whatever. Like what would the unit code cruise be like? Would you like have your like the front be like your personal favorite arcade games? Like would Carn Dog get like his own dog spa like bar? It's like Carn Dog's dog spa, or like or the other idea I had would it just be like okay, Christian, I need you like you get a cruise and you get a cop festival, right? But that cruise is called Cop International Waters. It would be amazing,
Oh
but
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but that's an idea that sort of branches off. We'll make a separate ticket for that. Like, what would the unit code cruise like be like?
Like in regards to entertainment and dining
Yeah,
experiences,
like
or
if you could distill like your soul down into the shape of
mm,
a cruise. Like
mm.
we get a little cosmic here on Space Couch. Pardon the pun. But
Honestly, I think first off, the cruise would have to be in space, and the reason why is because there'd have to be a skating rink in it.
okay,
And honestly, you can't really roller skate on waters.
okay,
um,
okay. I love it. I love that you're bucking the rules.
yeah.
The cruise. Hell yeah, the cruise goes to space. Keep going, man.
Um, so yeah, because I like skating, it's one of the things I enjoy doing. It would have to have a place where people could skate. It would have to have, a fun. I think not like the kitschy like ticket skee ball. It like just like a skee ball room.
Oh,
It
but
isn't
like
like
nice ski
variations,
ball.
like good like and crazy variations of
Okay.
skee ball
Oh,
too.
like if
And
there's
like
there's like Seafarers of Catan. This would be like the Seafarers
yeah.
of Catan of skee
Yeah,
ball.
yeah, something like that.
All right.
Let's see what else. I'd also like a mini golf
Okay.
thing,
Okay.
and
If on
uh,
the skate ramp, would you if you wiped out, would it play falling down? And people are like, dude, are you so? And you get up and you go, I'm still alive. I'm a
nice
unit
tie in together there.
unit code machining it, man. So yeah, like for you at home, I'll give you a little bit of insider knowledge that our guest today is a an avid blader. Yeah,
Yeah,
is that
I
I
roller
don't know the
skate.
cool terms.
Yeah, I mean, I rollerblade it
All
almost
right.
every day. I need to buy new wheels, but yeah, mostly every day. Um, it's been fun. It's great exercise. The heat has definitely kept me from doing it
Oh yeah,
recently, but
you're in Dallas there on Earth. That's
yeah, the
Nintendo
scorching.
Hitman says three out of three. He's doing pretty good. Let's see if he can bring it home. Oh no, yeah, the wheels sometimes come off when the edibles kick in, but I think I'll be okay. Um, so we would have an amazing and I need
I
to
mean,
use it
effectively, it'd be like a putt putt,
a putt. Okay, and
but with this roller skating rink attached.
okay. And last thing, because this is maybe I'll fashion this into a theme later on, but would you go like old school like 70s putt putt golf with like the clown nose, or like how they kind of like revived it in the 90s and made it like classy with like the brick inlays and like the astroturfy kind of thing? Like what would your like, or
I
would it be like
mean,
zany golf
so
insane?
well, I mean, I would definitely be like for me it has to touch on the nostalgia that was closest to me, and like the '90s, the
Uh-huh.
late '80s, early '90s putt putt was like yeah, that's about where I'd like
Okay.
to see it.
Fascinating. Fascinating. I love it. There you have the Unicode machine, book now from Royal Caribbean or Cop International Waters or any number of wonderful cruise lines. We are on a rogue flight path out here in space. I'm going to bring this flying. I swear there's a couch under here. I'm going to bring this flying ball pit. There's a couch in here under back on into the station shortly. But I do want to go out on um, what's something about unit code machine that people don't understand, if anything, or is it pretty straightforward?
I mean, so I would say that like maybe I don't know if people don't understand anything about Unicode machine, but if I were to
Mm-hmm.
make an assumption on what people wouldn't understand, is that Unicode machine is really who like when I'm on stage, when I'm performing, when I'm writing things,
Mm-hmm.
that's who I feel like I truly am. My day to day life, my things that are inside of the world of work and all of those things, I feel like that's just time I'm paying to get to the point where I get to be who I truly am, and that's what makes me want to continue to do the things that I don't like to do, like work, but I get to work with you, so that's cool. uh, and like all of the things that I do, it feels just like existing. But Unicode makes me feel alive.
Holy crap, dude! That was amazing. Poem just fell out of your face because uh, not only not only can I relate, but that was well articulated. But for no, because I get it. Like for me, it's all just kind of like this gill net, and then right about track two and a half, I can feel it like kick in, and
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm like coming up for air. I've got out of that gill net just enough for to fill up that the life meter when your dude's underwater. Like, okay,
Mhm.
all right, I'm good till Resistance Festival or whatever. Although
It's
Gasoline had a great show last night, but go on.
I was gonna say just cue the Sonic 2 drowning music where he's trying to get to a bubble.
Oh yeah, every fourth episode, like the guest just like kind of like hits like that old timey footage of the guy with the goggles with the steam cannon that just like blasts the cannonball into his belly, and he's just kind of like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was like,
used for what was it? Van Halen 3. They used that for.
yes, yeah, there was uh in the first Fast and Furious, Dom Toretto goes like, "I live my life a quarter mile at a time," and they're like, "Yeah, I kind of do live my life 30 to 42 minutes ish at a time, so,
Yeah.
depending on how long they need." But you guys at home have some homework vis-a-vis our guest. Undone's out now. Um, Cold is soon to be released. You get those on where, man? Like the Cop International Bandcamp, or where should people go?
Uh, you can go to the Cop International Bandcamp, which is
Mm-hmm.
copint.bandcamp.com. You can reach my Bandcamp pretty easy to get the same thing. You can go to unicode.net and it'll redirect to my Bandcamp, which is unicode.bandcamp.com.
Why not
You can
UNITCODEmachine.bandcamp.com?
because less letters for people to type.
I can never find it. But like, okay, but we'll fix that here now on Space Couch. It is UNITCODE dot bandcamp.com. But you can also go to the wonderful Cop International Bandcamp. I'm presuming iTunes. You can find our guest on Twitter, Facebook, all the places that you find those things.
Instagram, Threads.
Instagram, Threads. I'm just so tired, but like I'll start on Threads. I'll start on Threads.
It's it's a thing.
It's
You gotta
it's
you gotta move to where the kids are, man.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Um, yeah, I will be 5 minutes late to the 3 o'clock meeting. I got to wrap up an integrations thing, and then we'll take care of that. The last thing I want to say is of course, Prospector Alert! Prospector Alert!
God damn it!
Stupid. Ah,
Oh
okay.
god.
This has been fun for me. Ladies and gentlemen, call the spaceships to Davenport. Call the spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for Divanarchy and interface with the couch with space. I forgot my own tagline. Space couch out. I let us talk over the credits here. If you need to toss any last things. Oh, craps! I'm gonna jump back. I don't care. I can do whatever I want. Dark City Fest.
Yes. So real quick, Dark City Fest is happening October 20th through the 22nd in New Orleans, which luckily, or not luckily, amazingly, I should say, I'm going to be headlining one of the nights
Stop.
apparently. Like
Headlining material.
I mean, and then also like Goth Dad's going to be there. Dusty, Vision Video for those who, yeah, that's going to
Shout
be
out to
great.
Vision Video.
And Dallas, Dallas alums or Dallas, I guess, friends of the code. Though we don't know each other that well. Rose Garden Funeral Party and my good friend or my good friends in Ayatoya will be there. Or actually, Ayatoya will be there. It's a one woman
That's
show.
That's a that's a that's a great lineup. Wow. All
Yeah,
right.
it's going to be
And
a pretty amazing weekend.
do you know the date and city on that one more time for our
It's
listeners?
the Dark City Fest is going to be in New Orleans. It's October 20th through the 22nd. You can find out more by going to the Dark City Fest Facebook page, which I believe if you just search Dark City Fest, you can find it. Also, if I think you can find it on Eventbrite as well.
Super cool, guys. It's an industrial festival in New Orleans in October.
Yeah, it's
Headlined
like the
by
spooky season, right?
headlined by our amazing guest, UNITCODE machine. So we'll switch to our backup software outro called the Spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for event. Interface with outer space. This is Brian for Space Couch, for Eric for UNICODE machine saying Space Couch out. Oh yeah. So thank you for calling me out. That. It's well, because it's like you want to catch it right before deployment. So, yeah, not anymore. I think this might be the first episode I've done on Windows 11. So I just it's like, yes, but if you at home want to get your name in the credits, you can do that at patreon.com/gothsicles. I'm so behind on the podcast version of this. I'll fix it, but I gotta fix my fucking life from falling apart.